Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1 p.m. on this 21st day of September. It is Friday, the last trading day of the week, but it is not the last. There's never a final weekly trading day for cryptocurrencies. It's happy day every day. Welcome back. If you were with us last night, yesterday, some pretty crazy action in Ripple and everything. Actually, was pretty neat. Kind of continued into this morning. Saw the pullback happening right now, which is expected. That is not a surprise. It should not be a surprise to anybody. Let's see. Second, my glasses are a little messy. If the music is too loud, let me know. I think last night folks said it was okay. Is that right, Kelvin? All right, so let's go take a little walk through this here. So we have Ripple just screaming up, from where were we at, like 28 cents. We bursted all the way almost to 80 cents. Now, I think this is a great example of how market geometry is going to give you kind of a heads up of where something may stop, how far it may go, if it goes past, where else can it head to. So this was kind of an interesting area, period. But I mean, when I was watching it kind of trade on the hourly chart and we went past the mid, I mean, usually if things like this happen in other instruments on any other chart, you usually get up to this first pivot up here before it reverses, which is exactly what it did. But it had found resting at some of these inner harmonics here. If we go to the hourly, we can see that kind of a top here was made on this candlestick on at the top of this trading range, this thin green bar here. I'll thicken it a little bit. And then we also found some support down here that we're currently trading up against this pivot. So that is really what we have going on here. It looks like we're trying to recapture the 60-cent area. Probably will. Probably, if this is just going to be a pullback to higher prices, then that is exactly what we're going to see happen. We have an inside bar. We're just starting on the 1 o'clock hour. Inside bar right here. And so buy entries are above this bar, are above the inside bar. That's what the entries are. So we'll see how this goes. Last night was freaking nuts because there were two charts we were looking at. Okay, you know what? Excuse me. Let me pull up and do it with this chart. So we'll do a 4-hour chart, hourly chart of Ripple on the right, and then we'll put up a hourly chart of the Ripple short chart. This was freaking nuts yesterday because as Ripple was shooting up, so was the short chart. That is just messed up. That really doesn't happen that often, ever. You have equal short interest, equal people going short as you do going long. Yeah, makes sense, but if we look here, we have total capitulation to the downside. We have big selling happening, and I don't think we've seen the end of that selling. Or people, actually, it's not selling on the short chart. It's just people covering. So this has just been a fueled rally, and Ripple has been kind of leading the whole pack here. So, we should anticipate that to continue. Pretty wild stuff. So the Ripple trade, I mean, if you have the stomach for it, stick with it. But I do want to point out one thing that actually was chatting with another trading buddy this morning, and give me 1 second here while I Sorry, I just don't want to share my login information with everybody. Hope you understand. The internets are dark and full of terrors. Okay. All right. I wanted to show. Hopefully it loads. So there's this awesome volume indicator that MotiveWave has. It's called time price opportunity, and it's hard to see on this because it's so squelched. But there's like little boxes that represent a period of time. So each little brick on here, if you could see them, each little brick makes this. If we can see, if we zoom in a little bit. Maybe you can see a little bit here, but you can see that they're not just a thick line. So each one of these represents a period of time, okay? And then it tells us not only the time. It's a little more advanced than what you would see in just regular volume profile. However, this took forever to load because this loads the entire tick data. So this data for Bitcoin goes from today all the way back to 2010. Okay, so we've got over 8 years worth of data we're looking at. That red line on the bottom, not red, that orangish line down here, this is the point of control, okay? This is the area, actually this whole peak right here, this entire zone, this is where most of the accumulation is happening. Okay, when I've been talking about the accumulation going on ever since February, this is the zone we're sitting in right now. This is where, in the entire history of Bitcoin, more price and more volume and more time has been spent trading at 6,438.55 cents than any other place. And we can see that reflected in here, that this is a high volume node, that this is like the ultimate, bottom zone. This is the ultimate like launch point. Okay, this is a big freaking deal. Is there an argument that we could drop below it? Sure. If we were to get another bear move here and trade below this, it would travel down very, very, very fast because there's no support down here. There's like, I mean, there's almost no traded volume below. So this zone right here that we're trading at, 6,400, that is the ultimate kind of low zone and support zone. Now let's take a look at the majors real quick here. Let's take a peek at Bitcoin. What do we got here? So Bitcoin's got we got a flag pattern forming here. So we're right up against the 618 Fibonacci level here. That's where we found some resistance, forming a little bit of a flag off of this up move that we've had. We traded as high as 750 and above, almost to 6,800. That's a natural area for prices to actually find a little bit of heat. 6,800 is a big deal. But we haven't had a big sell-off there. In fact, we probably should anticipate because this is such a expansive move we're experiencing all over, we should see a nice pickup to the top side. Now, we need to take into consideration the market cap, what happened with the market cap. The coin market cap shot up like crazy, okay? We were, for the week, we were trading down. We were at 225 billion, like at around 9 o'clock this morning. But you remember that we started the week at like 191 billion, and then we moved up here to 220, as high as 225. So that's a good pullback. That's a pretty strong, firm support of the $200 billion range. We've seen Bitcoin's dominance fall a little bit, where it was trading in the 56 to 58-ish zone. We were down to 51.9%. That means people are in speculative markets. But dudes, this is the big deal right here. Look at this. Ripple passed Ethereum as the second most valuable cryptocurrency in the world. Ripple went past Ethereum. Want to talk about a flippening? That's what happened here. Ethereum just experienced the flop. But I mean, let's just look at these for a second. Bitcoin's market cap, $115.5 billion worth. That's Bitcoin's market cap, followed by Ripple at 23.7 billion, Ethereum 22.3 billion, and then really it just drops off from there. So yeah, we've got some Tether or not Tether, Ripple and Ethereum certainly in a pretty hefty zone here. 39 billion supply. There's more than that out there. All right, that's crazy. This is one for the books for Ripple and Ripple Bulls. That's a big deal. It's pretty neat. Okay, moving forward. So we've got Bitcoin here. Let's check out Ethereum. Ethereum's been pretty steady, folks. I mean, Ethereum's been trudging along. We've been taking a pretty nice steady. We've been taking the stairs up. That's kind of what we want to see. Ethereum continuing to claw back some of its moves. We are now. We could possibly over the weekend. We could. Probably not. We could definitely get past 2-week or 3-week highs here. Make 2 or 3 week highs. So Ethereum, and we really have to look at Ripple. Again, gosh, just a crazy move. I would not be surprised to see another pump here. I'd be careful if you're trying to short this. I would be very careful. But where are we finding a little resistance? Right on the lower band of an inner harmonic level. Right there. Nice little, sorry, it's a little fib level right there. We'll see if there's enough oomph to push this higher, but man, Ripple has shot up a lot this last few days. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so we got Ripple. ZRX actually had a nice, beautiful move. We traded up all the way to this arc. I took profit on ZRX when it hit the arc and then it shot up more, and I almost went in when it was holding a support here, but now it's come back down. It's found support on this green line here, this major harmonic. I think that should short, and that this is actually a very kind of a good entry. Probably, okay, we've got 2 inside bars. Probably want to take a trade re-long on ZRX if we cross above that high, so at 92.29. Actually, I don't know if you were picking up on them, but if in the Telegram I put out probably 1, 2, 3, 4 trade ideas this morning on I picked up some laggards, Waves, Lisk, and BQX, which is actually that wallet, that Exio, whatever it is. Not Exodus, but I forgot what the wallet is, but those were laggards, and I always like to pick up things that are really lagging at everybody else. So like BQX is way lagging everybody. I like that one. Waves is actually a super fast blockchain, and this is really like undervalued, but I think it's just when you're comparing, it just gets lost in the noise of the broader market. Lisk way down. Populous, I don't know why this guy's crazy down. From like a fundamental reason, I don't know why, but really not that big of a deal, other than that it's lagging the performance of the rest of the market. So we should see these pop up at some point, but we'll see what happens. I like to have some money sitting in those that have not had a blow up in price yet, because it feels like, well, it doesn't feel like, I know that it happens when you have some cryptos that are really just, they're staying flat. So their Bitcoin pairs, they're actually looking negative, and they're not getting negative only because people are selling them. It's really because Bitcoin's gaining in value and the altcoin isn't. So those become underperformers, and I like to sit on them because when there is finally a pullback and everything else that was experiencing a big old dive higher, everything else that was jumping up, money goes back into Bitcoin, and then some people will trade, and it happens all the time. They'll get into those coins that did not perform, and those will kind of experience a pump during an overall sell-off or profit-taking move. So, yeah, that's why I have some sitting in there. But yeah, so list. By the way, if there's a coin that you guys want me to take a peek at, just let me know. Looking at Cardano, has had a beautiful move. We actually got all the way up to 9 cents. 9 freaking cents. So, yes, 9 cents, big deal. If I could spot, yeah, we have a flag here too, flag pennant. This could be a bearish pennant on here. Actually, we probably see a lot of them right now. Let's go to 15-minute bar. So this could be a bearish pennant where we could break down lower. We see that in Ripple as well to an extent. We see we could have a bearish pennant here. Ethereum, not so much. Let's see what else. ZRX. No, really, it's just kind of looking like it's finding some support down here. Basic attention token. This one actually caught a nice drive higher too, and now it's trading down. Yeah, not really. Actually, it's looking like it might be a little supportive. EOS. EOS got stopped at a 45-degree angle, but it's also at a square of price and time. I did a couple trade ideas last night on EOS, and let me find them. EOS and ZRX. They're both looking at some important areas in their law of vibration. I drew a bunch of charts out last night too. So ZRX is here, and 14 hours ago I did that. Yeah, I was up late. We're coming up against a new pivot in time here. This is the exact middle between it's the law of vibration, so we're at the 96th day, 90 to 99 day. That's within that Gann's 90 to 99 day cycle, and we are coming from a swing high to a low here, which means that this is more than likely going to act as a resistance in time to the trend in force, which means we move higher. So that's in ZRX. The same with EOS. Right here, this is a fun one because it's right on this it's right within the value area of this square of price and time, and so we should see EOS react very, very strongly to this over the next couple days. I don't know how it'll be going into the weekend, but certainly Monday we should see some activity there. All right, Walton Chain. On the 4-hour chart, we haven't had a red bar yet. We've got wicks all over the place. Jeez Louise, this is huge. Oh, like this morning, the price action was so freaking nuts that Binance actually crashed. Binance crashed, so I checked on my Poloniex positions. Those Poloniex was like frozen. Kraken was okay. Bittrex was okay because nobody goes on that. And then GDAX seemed fine, but Binance was all messed up. All messed up. So EOS, it's got that little bit of a pennant there maybe, but there's some buying wicks there. Nano hasn't done a damn thing. It's just sitting there doing nothing. XLM, oh man, this guy's moved. This one's gonna move like Ripple, because it's got as important a technology, maybe more important. So I try to think of it this way. Stellar is focused, like they're both focused on the same business. All right, decreasing the cost of exchanging currencies and money internationally, and increasing the time and decreasing the cost and decreasing the time to get those things done. So, what Stellar is doing, they are working with IBM and some others. They are focusing on the private sector businesses, like Ripple's focusing on banks. Stellar's focusing on everything from banks to big corporate entities to things like Western Union. I mean, here's the deal. Western Union, I don't know if they know it or not, but their business is dead. Things like Stellar have just killed, pretty much killed off Western Union. I think it'll take a long time for people to adopt to it, and certainly you got to think, okay, is this as an accessible market as it is? I mean, we got a Western Union here, and there's people always sending money places, and I mean, you can just go there and do it, and trying to adopt people changing from that kind of a thing to a cryptocurrency transaction, that's a hard sell. How do you change people's minds about that? But otherwise, anyways, Ripple's focused on banks, and Stellar's focused on everybody else. That's how I think of it. That's one of the reasons why. And this is interesting because Coinbase did not want to list Ripple. If you remember last year, Ripple caught a huge bump because there was a rumor that they might be going on Coinbase, and Coinbase heard that and heard enough sites and people claiming as much that they said Ripple is not going on their site. And then a few months ago, when Coinbase sent out that they're looking at Cardano, Stellar, Basic Attention Token, Zcash, and OX to put on their platform, the Ripple fanboys were all sorts of pissed off because, you know, they knew that their product is better than Stellar, so why should it be on? I mean, it's not. I don't know if it is, actually. I have no idea. I just know that there's a really aggressive Ripple fan base out there, kind of like a cult, and they're really offended that a competitor was going to be on Coinbase, considered to be on Coinbase. So definitely, because Coinbase is looking for things that actually have some value behind it and something real. Stellar has a partnership with one of the most important companies in the world, IBM. That's a big deal, and they're launching their platform thing. I want to spend some time going over that maybe Monday. But their deal is launching. I forget the name of it. Is launching on in October, I think, maybe the end of September. I don't remember. And then, yeah, so that's going to be a big deal. It'll catch a nice pump. Stellar will. IOTA had a nice little drive up there. Remember, that one was lagging a little bit, but IOTA is one of the if you remember, like last fall and winter, IOTA was one of those kind of quote-unquote third generation blockchains. The first of which and EOS, is that third generation? I don't know. But EOS got out, and then IOTA is supposed to get their stuff dealt with, but Cardano is certainly going to be a big deal. That's if it's not, that'll be surprising. I mean, I've done my own due diligence on it, so Cardano's pretty awesome. I'm gonna get my chair here, actually. 1 second. Oy. There we go. Ah, that's better. I've been standing for a few hours. All right. IOTA doing its thing. Nano. Okay, so going into the weekend here, looks like Ripple's catching a bit of a bid. The thing that we need to watch for Ripple to break here is maybe it already did. Or it's about to. Needs to break above here for that next drive higher. Let's see if it happens. Bitcoin, I don't know what the hell happened with oh, that's so much better. Thank God. I don't know what I did to TradingView, but like it looks like freaking Easter egg on my screen with all these pastel colors. Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, it's over here too. What the hell? Okay, Cardano. On the daily, like rising volume, moving up here. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 days of really nice rising volume. We are a hair above the swing low of this most recent drop, where we were trading at a staggering 11 cents at one point, if you can believe it. 11 cents. Oh, yeah. One nice thing is, though, that this major harmonic, this is like the ultimate zero zone. That is crossed. We're holding above that. As long as we're above that 0.079, we're golden. Cardano could definitely see a pretty nice pump here. It's way overdone, and it is more than likely going to re-enter its first arc of the square here, which will be very bullish. Structurally, Cardano has a very weak chart, and it's really just a victim of the overall broader market. But if you notice that when the pump was going on from yesterday to today, the altcoins that were catching a bid, those coins were ones that actually have some value to them and some growth and potential. So Cardano got a nice lift. Basic Attention Token did, EOS did, IOTA, a lot of the things in that kind of top 20 market cap. Certainly, and I'm just looking at the ones on Binance. Bittrex has so many crap coins that I mean, it's hard to believe it over there. But ZRX, so a lot of those coins in the Coinbase 5 that I call them, those caught a nice drive higher, except for Zcash. And actually, Zcash I'm thinking about just dropping for Monero, because I mean Monero is just a little bit more up my alley. I think I'm really considering swapping for Monero. But as we're watching these things play out here, because we're at 1:30, I want to do live. Let's do a square of a chart. So is there a coin that somebody wants me to do live here, and we can square out a chart in TradingView? And then I'm going to show you something really disgusting that is maybe it's already running. What? DGD. Digixdao. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't even know. So I don't know if any of you have tried the trial for EOS. Okay, EOS. We can definitely do EOS. I don't know if any of you have tried the trial for Optima. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's spendy. I mean, to get the full suite, like the professional version, well, I'll just say this: the Astro and the Gann stuff is like $5,000 or $6,000, just those two modules. But if you're a Gannist, or if you ever want to be one, it's kind of required. I mean, this is the best Astro and Gann software on the planet, period. And I think they hoard the tech in the software because you can't. Because a lot of these things used to be own separate, different programs. But okay, so I just want to show you real quick something that is really nice about the software. I'll just use. I'll just do Cardano. I don't know if this will work actually, but the squaring here is stupidly easy. There. Look, it's already squared for us. How about that? It's, you know what, actually, this would be one that I would fiddle with because the probably gonna do 4. I think that, no, sorry, oops. Other way around. Yes. Yep, that's better. Anyways, enough about that. Okay, so let's, I think EOS I have one for already. Let me take a look here. EOS. I do. But you know what? I know this is the law of vibration. I've not done the traditional Gann way, which is these charts here. Haven't used them lately. But I know Bitcoin's on here. And so this is using the same prices, but this is with this type of geometry. And I don't think I have an EOS chart on here. Yep, I don't. Okay, so let's do this. This is actually pretty simple, pretty easy to do. If you want to use the dollar pair or the Bitcoin pair, which one would you rather have me do? Bitcoin or the dollar, and then we'll do a Digix Deo. I don't want to save Digix Deo for the last one for a good reason. I didn't forget you, Tim. We could go with the dollar one, but what's the EOS Bitcoin? So what we're gonna do is you're going to square either from top to bottom or bottom to top. So if the all-time low is before the all-time high, we square a low. We square the range of a low. And the first thing I want to do, and here's the deal with this data. So we can try it with this being the low, but I don't know about that first day. It's always weird. First things first that we need to do is we need to square the chart, okay? And squaring is so important. Is it? I don't even have the music. I don't hear it because I don't want it coming through the mic. Yeah, I started adding music last night, first time. So if it's too loud, let me know. It's from the Stellaris, the video game Stellaris. It's a 4X. Oh, it's an amazing strategy game. Okay, so we go to settings. So right click on the screen and go to settings. And then we go to scales. Now, when we get to scales, we'll see there's top margin, blah, blah, blah here. Price to bar ratio. This is one we want to look at. Now, this is going to take a little bit of user discretion, because when you're squaring, it doesn't matter how you square it. Okay, it doesn't matter the ratio as long as it stays squared, because if you understand how fractals work, then you understand how market geometry works, because everything's just a fractal of a fractal. Fractals are fractals. So it doesn't matter so much about how or what value you're using. It's just that you want to make it, I mean, you'll get what I mean when we do this. So right now it's got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 0, 1. So maybe just this is going to be fine. Maybe this will be fine. So just 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay. Then very careful, hands off the mouse, and try to not do this. Do not move the middle finger on the scroll wheel. Don't scroll in or out the rest of the time. Okay, sometimes with TradingView, when you get to this price to bar ratio and then you hit OK, it won't set it. So like when the box is got the number in it, then you just click on to the right side of it somewhere so it clears, and then hit OK. And now we're fine. You can drag with the mouse, but for the love of God, do not scroll in or out because you'll ruin the square and then the whole thing is ruined. Next thing we want to do is we want to get a horizontal line. So we just go up to the top left here and we just want horizontal line. Click that. I'm going to put it on the all-time high right there. Doesn't matter what color it is. It can be black, it can be red. If you want, if your mouse doesn't like automatically, you know, kind of go on those tops and bottoms, the magnet icon over here on the kind of the middle left side of the screen, magnet mode, that'll put drawing tools right on those zones for you. It can be annoying sometimes, but most of the time you'll like it. So, and I have stay in drawing mode on because once you put a line on there, instead of having to go back and forth to get another line, you can just click it and it'll do it. But that's also kind of annoying. Depends on what you want to do. Okay, so now that we've got that, next thing we need to do is we need to identify the low, which is this very first bar all the way down here. And then we're going to go back up to our toolbar on the top left where we see the pitchfork. We're going to go look for the Gann square fixed. Gann square fixed. And we're going to put that on the very bottom of that first bar. Click, and then we're just going to drag it out until this middle line here, the 45-degree line, hits the horizontal line, okay? And then right click or whatever you need to do just to clear that so you're not doing anything else. And the reason we use the Gann square fix is because it draws it's the easiest thing to use to get that 45-degree angle out of all the tools that TradingView has. If I want a 45-degree angle for a square chart, the easiest, quickest way, this is the way to do it. And so once you've done that, then we're going to get this next tool, that is the Gann box. Now, quick note about the Gann box. Yours probably looks like this. Hold on. If I go to default, where you don't have any angles in it. Why the hell that is, I have no idea. But all you need to do is you could just double click on it. And then what we want to do is we want to click for angles. Okay, that'll plot the angles. You can have the colors there if you want to. That's up to you. Otherwise, you can just turn them off. You know, it's really up to you. So we've got that Gann box. Okay, so we got the Gann box set. Now what we need to do is we want to put the left. We just really want to put it down in the same corner we put the Gann square fixed, and then we take the top right. So you can see there's a 45-degree angle within the Gann box. We want to line that up as best we can. Get this stupid charger off my mouse. And we're going to drag that up to where the 45-degree angle intersects that high. Okay? Does that kind of make sense? We're just making sure that the 45 here stays, and that's what we're going to bring. We're just copying it on top of that so we have the same 45. And then just right click somewhere, and then we're good. So we have our Gann box there. Get it as exact as you can on your daily chart. Once that's set, then we click on the Gann square, the Gann square fixed, and just click on it and hit delete. All right. And then we can see this is our square now. Now what we can do now is we can go over to the scale, the price scale, and we can right click on it and go to auto fit data to screen if you want. And then all you do now is you just right click and go to copy, or something faster is hold down Control and then click and drag it. and we're just going to line them up. All right. Okay, so now we've got our square. And if you want to, if you're afraid that, because there's so many lines in here, the mouse is gonna pick up on it when you start to, like, if you grab the chart and try to move it, you'll sometimes grab the square. You can right click and go to lock, and that way, no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to move this square accidentally. Now let's bring it down to a hourly chart. All right. And we can go back in time and look at the price action. And if we notice that price action, it's hard to determine if it's way up in the extremes, but if we look back in the past, if we see if these angles have acted as a source of support and resistance in the past, sometimes a 4-hour chart's a little easier, depending on the size of your screen. Have these angles acted as an area of support and resistance in the past? Does price seem to trade inside of them appropriately? I'm going to say, for the most part, yes. Maybe there's a better price we can do this on, but otherwise, this is the way to do it. And it kind of gives you a nice idea of what to do. So how do you use this in your trading? Well, Gann had this thing called the rule of all angles, and that is when price closes above or below an angle, to move to test the next one. So this angle here, if we close above it, and it has to be this is where did I call it a law or a rule? It's supposed to be the rule of all angles, but generally I like to see a candlestick on the hourly, like the confirmation that it's broke is that there's a candlestick that has closed above or below where the wick has not traded on the angle. But the how you trade this is basically, well, let's say we're trading back down here. Once price trades and closes above this angle, it'll move to test the next angle. Where's the next angle above it? Right here. So this is where the next target zone is for it to trade. And then price broke this angle here higher. And where does it want to go? It wants to test this angle up here, so we see how it trades. Traded up, came back down to test. Does this kind of make sense to folks? This didn't turn out to be like the best square ever, but it's certainly, this is on the right track. And you'll notice too, like something that I saw in one of the Michael Jenkins. He's a pretty phenomenal Gannist, and he's written a lot on Gann's work. He wrote a lot about Gann's work in the 80s and the 90s. I don't know if he's written anything since then. But one of the things that he did was he looked on a Gann square, and anywhere that there was like 3 or more angles kind of intersecting each other, he would draw a horizontal line, because there would usually be a lot of activity on that zone. Can I believe XRP? No. Yeah, wasn't that nuts? Lewis was with me for a while, because we were on for like almost 2 hours, I think, yesterday afternoon rather. That was freaking nuts. I got up at 5 this morning and I continued to trade, and saw all that whipsaw action. That was just crazy. Those sharts were just shorts. Shorts, not sharts. The shorts were getting obliterated. Did you see Luis? Did you see the short chart? Did you see they're down 30%? Ouch. Ah, see, Ripple is catching a little bit of a bid. Yeah, so Luis and I were like nerding out on this chart because last night, for those of you who just kind of came in, last night was freaking nuts. Last afternoon, I don't know if you watched yesterday's video, but it was freaking nuts. I'm going to go over this again, sorry, but this was just the craziest damn thing. So we had Ripple shooting up like crazy, right? And let me get Ripple's chart here to do the hourly. So here's, God, I can't even figure out where I put this shit anymore. So here's Ripple's chart on the right. This is Ripple's long chart, okay? And then on the left, I'm going to put the short chart on the hourly. So yeah, Ripple was up like 23%, okay? This is the weird part, is that Ripple was up 23%, but then the shorts, they were up like 60%, all-time highs. When Ripple was going higher, so were the shorts. Like, there was no covering. Like, what was going on? What was everybody and their dog trading like an idiot last night? Because Ripple was making clear, huge highs with every dip being bought on an... If every dip is pretty much being bought on an hourly and you're not getting a pullback, there's no point in trying to short it. But the short chart just kept, boom, just kept banging up there. And then it wasn't until... Well, yeah, yesterday evening that it came down a little bit, but then this morning when Ripple, what time was that? At 10 o'clock? 9 o'clock, we got all the way up to like just shy of 80 cents, and then all of a sudden these shorts just fell down pretty hard, and they are still dropping here, so... This was weird. I don't know how accurate this data is here on the left. I don't know if this is actually how we're supposed to interpret it, but if it is, I've never seen such a correlated chart where everything's moving in the same direction with the inverse trade. It's weird. I don't know. Could it be a whole bunch of people like this is just a bunch of people hedging? I don't know. But this was just nuts. And so really, I mean, I think there's more to go higher here just because of the short interest. This is ridiculous shorting going on in here. So, boom. Moment of silence for the Ripple shorts. Moment over. All right, let's keep going. Back to the square here. Okay, so... That was EOS. Let's do Digix. You want to do the, Brother Tim, you want the dollar pair or the Bitcoin pair for Digix DAO? Dollar it is. God, there's quite a bit of delay on YouTube, isn't there? Maybe that's on my end. Oh well. Okay, so DGD, everything's trying to catch a little bit higher. Dollar pair. Going to a daily chart. Oh my god. Well, what the hell is this? Oh yeah, one day we just decided to quintuple the value for... What the hell? Okay, see, these are these are the kind of charts where I don't know if I want to use that high. I don't think I do. I think what is going to be the safest thing to do. Damn. I mean, what's that look like on a 4-hour chart? Okay, yeah, I don't think that's a very... I don't think this is an honest level here, so let's not worry about it. Go to the daily. the high I'm going to use is going to be this one right here. Okay, so instead of going from low to high, we're going to be squaring a high to a low. This is going to be a pretty cramped chart, I can tell already. But well, actually, we can address that issue because it's an easy fix. So the all-time low is actually not very far away. We just first want to get that horizontal level line here. It's down there if you need to. You can hide the volume chart. Now I can square this bad boy. Go to settings and price to bar ratio. I wonder what 1 looks like. Oh, nope. 2. Probably 4. Actually, you know what? I am going to go with 2. That's all right because we can still drag it around if we need to. Again, don't use your mouse to scroll in or out. Otherwise, you mess up the square and we're screwed. So the same thing we did before. I'm going to go back up to the toolbar here. I'm going to get the Gann square fixed. Throw it on the high. Drag it down. I know that it's going to hit that that horizontal line already. Then I'm going to get the Gann box. Same thing. And I'm going to start dragging it along. Again, if maybe you guys know or don't know, but there's a undo button finally that TradingView has. Best thing they've implemented in a while. Just dragging that 45 so it's on top of this 45. Get it there as close as I can. Eyeball it. All right. I can delete the Gann square fixed. And actually, it doesn't look so bad like this, but when if we right click and go to auto fit data to screen, it's gonna look a little, actually, no, it's not really that bad. Nice following of the angles here, clear break, support, failure, boom, boom. Yeah, this follows it pretty nicely. Finding resistance up there. And when you get to these areas where like you're getting towards the end of a square, you're gonna like the price action is kind of the price action should reflect the space of the zone and the angles. So the angles here we have a pretty wide open space in here, and so price should be trading inside of that space as the extremes, as that's the highs and the lows, but it doesn't always. But generally, you will see things trade inside the space that is available. This does look pretty cramped up in here. All right, so let's say you have a chart like this, but you don't like how it looks, or it looks too, tight, or you want to see bigger angles. You could just double it, and to double it, all you really do is, it's a little bit of a process and can get really frustrating, but we just want to again match everything up, and then I'm going to put one above. Actually, I'm going to lock the scale. I'm going to put another one above. Yeah. And now I'm going to get the Gann square again, bring it down to the angle here. If you need to, you can double click on this like if I want to know what the price value is on the coordinates. So it's at 3104. I could just go to select copy and then get that square here. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do kind of what I did when I first started the square, but I'm just going to drag it up here till it matches up. That's good. And then you're probably asking, okay, well, how the hell do I delete all those other ones? It's pretty easy. Right click, go to object tree. And if you don't want to delete them, you can just hide them. You can just hit the I here. Or you can hit delete and they'll go away. But now you have it's the same square. It's just you have it doubled. If I were to go to an hourly chart, I think this looks a lot better. This is a lot more tradable. Yeah, I really like this a lot better. This, yep. I do like this a lot better. Definitely. Like as these angles are fanning out, they create these beautiful channels to trade in. Clear lines of support. Very, very nice. Yeah, I like this one quite a bit. Digix is actually catching a big bid here. What the F? Shot up quite a bit. Any questions on this? I mean, please ask if you have any questions, because good to ask. Now, as I looked down on my screen when I was moving over, I saw that we weren't dead on the square there. So what I could do is, that's the horizontal line. That gives me the exact very low price. And then if you double click on one of these angles within the square, you could just Control V or paste it on there, and then it'll drop down there. I mean, it's not that much of a difference, but yeah. And I'll tell you what, once you put in like the different harmonic price levels, so let's try that. So I want to get rid of the price levels, except for the 50% one and the 0 and the 1. So I don't need the 2, 5, 3, 8, 2, 6, 1, 8, and the 7, 5. Okay, so if you remember, only one person got a hold of me, but if you remember from maybe a couple weeks ago or last week, I made an indicator, and it's called musical harmonics. Because you can take how music notes, their harmonic frequencies, how they basically double from octave to octave, use those numbers, and they become natural support areas on any chart. Natural support and resistance levels on any chart. It's actually kind of creepy. So I'm just going to go to indicators, my scripts. I fiddle around with this a lot, clearly. Musical harmonics. Okay, and if you guys want this, just message me on TradingView, and the hell, sign into chat. Oh, I'm gonna put my TradingView name in here. That's my TradingView name, so you can search for me on TradingView. Hit me up with a private message, and you can go ahead and I'll send you the indicator. So how you use it and how I'm going to use it here is, if you look at the source code, I kind of put in here like 1 is double to 2, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, 64, blah, blah, blah. So trying to find a number that is a number there to start with. So we're trading at 38. Okay, so I'm going to start with 32. So on the indicator, I'm going to hit the cog wheel and go to input, says low. I'm just going to type in 32. And then it populates up to from 32 to 64. And you'll notice that the price levels are not equal distant. They're not separated evenly, you know, as far as it's not an even number of lines. They vary. God, these spam calls are getting old. So you can see that here. And then if we want to plot the next octave above this, then oh yeah, Tim. I went to school for music, music education and performance. I was vocal and low brass was my focus. I was euphonium, but then my studio professor, we had to learn all the other low brass, trombone, and tuba. Trombone's the easiest damn instrument in the world. It's just a big tuning slide. No, it's not the easiest instrument in the world, but anyways, yeah, when I had kind of come across this musical thing almost like on my own a little bit, or it like something triggered in me. Like my wife was asking me once before we were married, she asked me, well, how did you get into the market if you were a musician? And I said, well, I don't know. I mean, when I stopped playing and didn't want to teach anymore, the only thing that really got me as passionate about anything that I was with music was the market. And oddly, for whatever reason, looking at a price chart gives me the same amount of like zen, I guess, as reading music. And then I'm thinking, okay, there's the bars on a sheet of music. It's kind of like those are horizontal levels of something, blah blah blah. And I don't know what it was. And then I started looking it up on Google, and obviously I wasn't the first one to think about it, because this has clearly been a thing of thought, but it's still not widely used. But a lot of Gann analysts have found this out. And so you can take the like harmonic levels and convert it into numbers, sound, light spectrum, colors. It's pretty cool stuff. A lot of it's really beyond me, but I get it. Anyway, so I'm gonna plot the next level. So I know that I started with 32 to 64. So 64 is the next octave I start with. So 64 will plot from 64 to 128. And then if we zoom in here, does price seem to find a lot of shared support and resistance levels? Like the wicks stopped right up here. It's at 128. And I mean, you can add, I could just add another the same indicator on here again if I wanted to, but so there's 128 to 256. Look at that. Historically, the prices seem to flow in there okay. And you can see, okay, like if you see one of these horizontal levels intersecting with a angle and prices near it, that's probably a good indication that something very responsive is going to happen, because a lot of times you'll see major breaks when there's a intersection of the angle and the angle and horizontal level and time. We don't have the time ones on here yet. So that's 128. So let's go to 256. I don't know about you, but whenever I see this stuff on a different chart, it still creeps me out. It's crazy. You know what? It really creeps out? People who think markets are random. Believers of the efficient market hypothesis. Random walk theorists. Oh, your world is crumbling down every year. Technical analysis is anathema to that concept and approach. ZRX up 10%. Holy shit, what are we missing here? What's going on? Get these cloud charts up. Okay, well, we were up to like 61 cents or something here. Cloud, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's catching a little bit of a bid here, driving up. Yeah, Bitcoin's driving up higher. That's what's going on. Bitcoin. It's going to break out. Yes. Suck it. So Bitcoin, what is Litecoin doing? Ooh, Litecoin 4-hour chart, man. Not messing around. Ooh, beautiful freaking breakup. Blah, blah, hang on. Trade signal. Fuck, miss. God damn it. I hate it when that happens. It's like, see the shit happen. Like, it's a good time to go and then it starts freaking taking off. Sorry, my French. Cardano. Cardano's bringing some back to the table here too. 4-hour chart's looking pretty nice on Cardano as well. Basic attention. What else is moving up here? EOS. EOS isn't really moving much. Ripples 59. Walton Chain. Nano, are you finally moving a little bit on the hourly here? Not really. Oops. XLM. Yes, XLM is actually driving back up too. Okay, so inside bar here on the hourly. I mean, that just started here at 2 o'clock, but I'm going to re-enter some longs on XLM. I peeled some off as profit, but I'm going to re-enter some longs if we cross above the conversion and cross and close above the conversion, and we also have a close above the prior candle high. So that's high here is 25 cents. So it'd be like I'd be doing it like 0.25. No, 26.30. I'm sorry, I was looking at the open. 26.38, 26.60. That's be a good one. Getting a little heavy there. I think Ripple is too. These ones are kind of really tied together pretty close. This daily candlestick. It's just nuts. That's just crazy. Whoa. Ethereum. Look at you. 10. Oh my god. Going up to 250. Probably going to face a little resistance up here. There's a... Oh, never mind. That was something else. Ethereum. Not messing around. Making a big push. Woo, baby. Why does this shit happen right as we're about to... I went to the gym and then I went to McDonald's. It's kind of like going long and shorting Ripple all at the same time. Going to the gym and going to McDonald's. Hey, I'm going to remember that. I thought that was clever. All right. Damn, look at that go. Oops. Oh, I don't need that. Oh, yeah, I had these here for some kind of lesson. Jeez, Ethereum's like mad moving. Love it. What we got going on here? ETH. Ooh, that is a gorgeous daily. Look at that. Man, I love this. God, I love market geometry. It's so badass. Wick halted at the arc, and like I've been saying, when prices hate sitting around these arcs, they really like to go away from them. And when they don't, it's like a buildup, and this is exactly the direction it should be going. Well, as far as it's the reaction, the direction really doesn't matter. It's the reaction that should be having. There's nothing but open space here. Man, there are some. I'm gonna have to make. It is the accelerator zone. That's exactly what it is. I have to make some room in my house for the bear rugs. I've had enough steak for 9 months. Time to get some bear grease. I don't know what do you use bears for. Jackets. Uh-oh. Somebody probably got offended. 248 and 42 cents. 248. Oh, it's going to 250. This shit's not going to sit here. Bitcoin. Oh man, look at that. We're going to 6,800, and then we're probably gonna blast through that. Oh yeah. Because there's the where are you at? Volume profile right here. There is a volume trough. Go from our all-time high here. Let's just clear that out. Bitcoin volume profile from the all-time high. Good enough. That's filled in quite a bit actually, but let's go to the recent swing low to here. Oh yeah, no wonder. It is. So when we're looking at the volume profile, if you ever trade it, volume profile is on the right here. It's actually volume price analysis. Sorry, volume at price analysis versus just regular volume price analysis. So volume at price analysis is analyzing the amount of volume traded at a particular price, because when there's a lot of volume traded at a price level, those are usually important. They usually are. They're signs of accumulation, so those are big support zones. So we have one here. This is actually the point of control. This is the exact same area we saw on that on Motive Wave here. Like this entire zone here, the 6450, 6400 value area. That is the exact same zone. And basically, this is kind of old school form of trading, but if you trade volume only, then it's really easy, where you buy at these accumulation zones and then you wait for the breakouts, because as the volume decreases in the profile, it's easier for prices to move in there. And when you have spaces like up here, where you have between 13,500 and 12,000, there's like nothing traded. The theory and what you often see is that when prices go beyond 12,000, they'll just get sucked in there. It's like a vacuum, and that's what you should see have happen. So depending on your time frame and how you're looking at the profile like this, you right here, this is obviously just a crap ton of volume traded in this level. We know that, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. So price slipped through this zone pretty easily. Why? Because there's nothing traded there. If I look, this is going back all the way to June right now. Let's go to that swing high here. The price level it's at here, it should be able to swing through this zone very easily to get to 7,500. Past 7,500 should be very easy to move from 7,500 onto the volume profile, because it is such a volume profile is a really useful tool. I mean, if you want to know a volume level where something's going to... It's hard to describe how important volume profile is or how useful it can be. But I think TradingView... I think I pay for this. I think volume profile is something they charge for. Yeah. Yeah. But it's... Yeah, you have to... Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to pay for this. But they have 3 different ways to look at it. Like, so this is the visible range, and then there's the session volume, or session volume is just going to give you the bars on the for the day, so you can see the volume profile each day. And for people who like trade futures a lot, people who trade futures use volume profile quite a bit, because this gives you a pretty good idea of, instead of the candlesticks themselves with volume profile, you can see these red lines. That's the point of control. You get a good idea of how price is actually moving, and is value increasing or is it decreasing. So when we see the point of controls moving up, that gives us a really good idea of how things are going, where some volume based resistance zones are going to be, where those volume support zones are going to be. If you look at it like on the weekly, you'll get your, I think we have to do fixed range for the weeklies to pop up, but yeah, anyways, that's one way to take a look at it. But Bitcoin making a bit of a move here. Heck yeah. All right, here's the deal. If I don't go do my honey-do list before my wife gets home, I'm going to be in deep trouble, because we're celebrating / part of our anniversary tonight and tomorrow. So as much as I really want to sit here for this breakout stuff, I wish you'd just understand how important this stuff is. Wives. But yeah, this is P-shaped profile. We'll see. Anyways, you guys have a great rest of your week, your Friday. Hope you guys have had a great week. I know we've had a great week in Forex and in cryptocurrencies, obviously. Have a safe weekend, and I will see you all on Monday. Later.